Hey guys, Susanna here. I'm back with a cute little project for Christmas. I know it seems crazy that we're doing something for Christmas, but I had this beautiful vintage bedspread. It's vintage chenille and it was a queen size, and I thought, I saw on Pinterest how to make cute little Christmas stockings. You know, using chenille and patchwork and all that kind of stuff. So I thought I would make up some kits. Now these kits will be on my Etsy store. I know that I said I was going to be changing over from eBay to Etsy, but some stuff I still am putting on Etsy. So I have been in contact with Etsy and they are trying to help sort out some of the problems. Now you get in the kit, this is going to be for the inside lining. You get the pattern, the yo-yo, this is for all the embellishments. The yo-yo I've already sort of, I'll show you in a minute, cut and put on there, but if you want to do more yo-yos, you've got the little bird pattern and the star, and then I've just put some words that if you want to, I'm going to stitch some words on there and just, you know, some ideas for some words. And here's the actual stocking. So what you need to do here is what I've done there. I've cut out the boot and then I've added 9 inches extra, like an extra piece of paper. This is fairly firm, so you can cut out the actual one that you get. 9 inches by, I think it's 5.5, but you just use that as a guide anyway. Like you start there and then you go up 9 inches. There you go. So 9 inches by 5.5 inches, and you just cut it out of a piece of paper to make it long enough. Okay, because being A4 size, it's hard to print off, you know, like a full stocking. So you got the boot part anyway. So you get that in the kit. Then you get 2 pieces of chenille, so you'll actually have extra because you cut out the boot. Some of them are actually in boot shape, you can see, in a sort of a rough boot shape, because I needed to get as much as I could out of them. I've only got 19 kits. You get 2 pieces, so if you want to, you could probably use maybe some calico or something, and you can have 2 stockings. So it's up to you what you want to do. I'm going to be using the chenille on both sides, but if you want to get 2 for the price of 1, you can do that. So and then you get this, you get quite a fair bit of this, because you put the stocking on, and you've got quite a bit left over, but you cut out a little bit for the star. So but it's sort of like a polyester voile. It's quite thin fabric, be a nice one to dye. And then you know, if, the ones that get the more chenille, you could probably use this and the chenille in some slow stitch packs, like as in to do some slow stitching, which is quite nice. Now in the embellishment pack you get now everything's the same apart from the doilies. So this is the tie. If you find it's too wide, you cut it off. That's to hang it up. This is what I mean by I've made these, I've sort of cut it, but I haven't cut them perfect. You get a vintage, it's sort of really lightly, it's light blue, you can see it against the white. So you get them. These are vintage buttons. The fabrics, this is actually Riley Blake, and this one I can't remember where that is, that's for the bird. And you get 2 half pieces of vintage doilies. Like I've got, so I would have 2 packs of this in there, and then I'd have, they're all different, but they're all vintage. So, and I've given you a choice of 2 different types. because you'll see how I use them. You can either use the one or use both of them, like on the front and the back. But I may not be doing it on the back for mine because you just don't see it. Like, you're going to be hanging it up, and you got 2 pieces. So if you want to make 2, like I said, you've got 2 pieces, and you can have a choice, and then keep the other piece for some slow stitching, whatever you want to do. So I thought I'd give you a bit of a choice of the pieces that you're going to get. So that's the kit. Now I'll put that aside. Now this is I like, for some reason, I don't know, maybe because I'm right-handed, I like hanging it that way. So make sure that when you cut it out, you cut one way and one the other, so that they're going to be facing that, like that. But if you want to make 2, you can have them both facing either that way or that way. It's up to you. So I've cut that out with that, and I've traced that out there. So you see, as you can see, you've got a fair bit of fabric. There's the bit I cut out for the heart, for the star. So what you need to do is you get the bit that is your front bit, and we're going to do the stitching in this video. So I've gotten, see, these are other types of pieces. I've gotten some bits and pieces out of, this is other half doilies, there's this one. When you get something like that, you just, I had to cut, that was a round one, I cut that in 3, so you would, you know, sew that on, and that would be like that. So the doilies are for the tops. I'm thinking I may use this one for on here. Whoop. In some of the kits you got that one, or you can use something like that. When you get something like this, you just put it up high, and that's going to go over the top like that, because it's going to be sewn anyway. You've got your little dangling bit. But I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm really choosing between these 2. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is you get your pieces, and I've sort of pre-cut them out. I've got the little bird. If you want the bird to go, so I've cut out the pieces there. This is thinner, but what you get in the kit is a bit thicker. I may put PDFs on the Etsy as well. If you want it to go that way, you just cut it that way. There is a front and a back. It's got a pattern on it, and so you put it up like that, and then this bit here that's left over is what you cut out, the small little piece, and then you fray. Like, I've just pulled off bits and I fray the edges, so that's plenty big enough. You can have it bigger or smaller. So I'm going to, let's see, how we go. If you think it's too long, you don't have to do 9 inches, but I thought I'd make it nice and long. Now you've got to remember, you're going to be sewing, this is including, you know, when you sew it together, so there isn't a great deal of room. So that's why I'm putting this guy down the bottom. So I'm going to, I was going to do this, put that underneath his head, have that going like this. I traced around that with the black, and you can actually see the black, which I don't like. It's very thin, but when you put it on the blue, you can see it. I don't particularly want to see the black. There we go. So that'll be like his wing. It's because it's Christmassy, we want to do it like that. Then I've already pre-done the yo-yo, so you just, you know, fold it over, get the fabric, So that's again like the round bit. You fold it over and then you stitch a running stitch all the way around. Most of you know how to do yo-yos. So I've pre-done that, and I wanted to put that yo-yo just there. Now you got buttons in the kit as well. I'm doing. So I'm going to have a red button in the center there and a blue button in the center there, and then in the center of your doily, I'll bring that down. I may use that one or may use the other one, either there or there. That's the wrong side, that's the right side. I quite like, you won't see those bits anyway. I think that is going to look good there, and I might even do some slow stitching on there. So it's quite shabby chicy. I've picked out my colours, so we'll put that down there. Now what I think we should do first, I'm just hoping we're in camera, just look. Ooh, yeah, there we are. Cool. If I stay there I should be right. Now I've got this, and I'm going to pick, have a look what's saying. I was actually thinking of doing the word either peace or joy. You know, being Christmas, I wanted to do it, or even Noel. I think Noel's quite nice, so I'll just do, I'm going to do it in white. So this is a white gel pen, you can probably do this in. There we go. Christmassy, and then I'll let that, might even do a little, there we go. Okay, I'll let that dry. I could probably dry it with my iron, but you know, and then while I'm waiting for that to dry, I may get the white out. I was thinking, you can't really see this real well, give it a bit of a stretch. There is a right and a wrong side. You make sure you got to stick it right in the middle, because we don't want to chop off his tail. It is a bit difficult. The tail of him was a little longer, but then I ended up shortening it. He might have to go on an angle, I think. There we go. So, and then I'm going to have that Noel there, and then that's going to be there, like that. So cute. Make it a little higher and more of an angle. There we go. There. Okay. So I know that that's going to be going there. I was actually thinking, I've got a couple of colours which I've pulled out. I wouldn't mind doing either the blue, got this nice blue to hold that down, I'll pin that. I mean, I've got a bit of an idea what I'm doing, but then you have to play as you go. Yeah, it's so cute. Blue, I think that's going to be like that. Got the red there. There's quite a bit of blue. So I'm thinking this is sort of like a pinky colour, pinky red, which I might grab some of that. Okay. And then proceed to sew. So we're going to be doing all the sewing before we actually sew the stocking together. So let that dry, and then so there's enough room because you have 1/4 inch, so you have to make sure. It does seem like it's a bit skewy and on one side, but it's all good. Now what I'd like to do with this is actually just stitch a little thing down, and then maybe a French notch, couple. If I did a pistol stitch it might work, I'm thinking. That's quite shabby chic. I think I'm just going to do a stitch and then come back. That's probably the better way for me to do that. Pistol stitch would work too, but I want to make sure that it stays down. So double knot. You won't see all of it anyway, because some of it's going to go underneath the bird. So it's not going to be a lot of stitching. Okay, double one. Get a little quiet when I'm busy stitching. Okay. Almost looks orangey, this colour. I think I might have used this colour for my robin when I did my red-breasted robin. It's got a bit of like, pinkish tinges, and you know, you get the idea of what you need to do with that. So I may pause and keep going with that, and I will be back. Looking cute already. Here we go. I might even zoom it in. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm back again. Now, I stopped doing the stitching, like as in, I just did just straight stitches all the way to there because that's where the bird's going to be. And then when I finished, I just went underneath and I sort of went up, down, just to secure it. And now I'm just going to finish up by finishing off there, and then it's being held down properly. So as you can see, is the stitching on the other side. If you want to, you can do it in whatever colour that you want. It doesn't have to be a reddish colour, that's fine. So what I'm going to do now is, be careful not to cut. I'll keep that aside for later. I'm going to get my birdie. See, I measured it, see, giving that guideline to there, so I know that my bird is going to go like that, because I really did want to get it in that it's not you know, that I'm gonna get all of it in. So just going to pin it. Then I've got this grey blue colour, And if you want to, you can do a running stitch, but I was actually thinking I might do just a little, like a sort of satin stitch. You would have seen that stitch in some of my slow stitching pieces. I just sort of want it to be a little bit more secure, because you may end up washing these, so you do have to have it that, you know, it's not going to come all flying off if you wash them. Okay, now just checking, double checking that I'm in camera. Yep, cool. So what I'm going to do with that, I can probably start here. Oop, quite a long piece, probably a bit too long. Where's me doobie? So we're just going to be stitching all the way around. It's sort of like a satin stitch, but not as close together, if you know what I mean. Like a satin stitch is a little bit closer together, whereas this is quite shabby chic, Nordic style in a way, like the colours and everything. It's quite Scandi, or whatever you call it, Nordic. So you can sort of see what I mean, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a little bit harder when you're going over the doily. So, and see how it's like I've gone, you know, it's not completely straight, but I like that. Gives it, you know, not a perfect look, which is what I want. That's what slow stitching is all about. So yeah, normally I would do, I mean, if you wanted to, you can do a running stitch, or even a whip stitch, which is where you catch it on the side and you just do it. But I thought I just wanted a little bit more security with this. So, like with the this, I am going to go all the way around. I might even colour in that. I might stop here and then go there, and I might do the beak a bit of a different colour. We'll see. Okay, I'll pause it again, but you get the drift. Can you see it? And then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back again. It took a little while to do that, and I actually ironed it down a little bit. I put with a uni pin fine liner. You just get these from the it's a permanent marker. Just put a dot and then a line and a thing there. And I did go all the way around with the beak. I'm gonna either do black or brown. I might go brown, a little bit more subtle, but I like this how it's not quite satin stitch. It's just because I wanted to have those little gaps in between. I thought I wanted to make it a little bit more rustic. Okay, so now we are going to stitch this on, and now this we can do with a running stitch. So I will just get the pin and thought I'd put it in this colour, maybe make it a little bit darker than just white, and then do a small running stitch. I mean, if you did the bird in a stitch like this, it would go a lot quicker, I will say that, because it did take a little while to do it like this, but at least I know it's fairly secure. So very fine, this fabric, but it's going to have a few layers on top of it, so it should be okay. Probably take that off now. Doesn't matter if you don't go all the way through. Yeah, see, I don't think it's gone all the way through, as long as it is attached. I can feel that it is. There, and it goes up. Okay. It's not very long, so I'll make you persist with me to watch this. Shouldn't take too long. I'll just hold that down there with the little one. Okay. Now I've got given this, which is what we're going to be using for the lining, from a friend, and like about 22 meters from on a roll. So it's almost like, it's really quite light, it's almost like gauze of some sort, but a little bit different. Okay, now, and while we've got this blue, I may use it to put on a little bit of lace as well. And just sort of stick that wherever. And I'm just going to do maybe a double slip stitch like I did on here, but I won't use French knot. I'll just do a double stitch. Okay. And then I'll come back with the red. Hopefully I'm in camera, or maybe when I go out of camera a little bit. I mean, it's not a massive difference, but just adds a little bit of texture to this. And I had them, and I think I had them dyed for another project, and I thought, oh well, I might as well use it for this. Very light dyeing, but you can see when you put it next to the white, it definitely is a really light blue. Okay, now off camera, when I did this, I also did most of the Noel wording just in a back stitch. I've only got a couple of stitches left to do on it, and I'll show you what I did. So this video is about decorating and doing the embellishments, and the next one is about how we are putting it together. Okay, sort of hanging over a little bit. What I like about it, not perfect. Now, so I'll finish that on the back, then we get the button. Okay, and we've got a little bit of this red left, which I definitely want a little bit of the red. That just sits in there. And I'm just going to go, just do a crisscross. If you want to, you can do a little bow, go through it and do a little bow. Done that before on different projects. Now, one thing I will say, chenille is very fluffy and it does go everywhere. I tend to do 3 one way and then 3 the other. At least you know it's going to stay put. Okay. And then that's done. So what we are going to do now, when I sew my yo-yos, I usually use a strong normal like polyester thread, so I will come back in with the brown and do that. I'll do that later. That's just a French knot and some straight stitching. So behind the scenes I did this Noel, okay, and then I'm going to finish it off. Yep. And I just used white because I thought it just stands out on the blue, and being Christmassy, it's funny how we have the Christmassy stuff whereas it doesn't snow here. Okay, now backstitch, as you know, is you just come out through. Yep. It is a little fiddly because it's so small, but it does look cute. Come out like that. Okay. And that's called a backstitch. Come out, you go ahead and you go back in the hole. Okay, and then this last little bit. Okay, now what we're going to do, I may give it a quick iron, it always helps. Okay, now we will come out. I'm not going to knot it off, I'm just going to come out here. Okay, then we'll figure out, I've already done that and I've got the thread in there, where we're going to put it. I think I will probably put a heart, like little bow in that, so I'm going to have that round about there. Hold that down. Then we're just going to do a little running stitch to hold this down. Like I've seen in previous videos, if you have a long thread it can knot up on you. move that out the way, come up there, and what I was thinking of doing, just making it really cute and doing a couple of little crosses. Just to give it a bit of cuteness. Right. Pull that a little tighter. There we go. Usually like to do 3, not very big, and I might do 2 on the other side, just to give it a bit of a balance. And then we continue on doing our running stitch. I may give, while the iron's on, give this a little bit of an iron, make it a little flatter. That's better. Then I'm going to turn it off. Oh, sorry guys. Now, okay, let's keep stitching. This doesn't take long, so you can watch me do this. Yeah, like I said, see the chenille, it looks nice and it's really lovely, but it is a bit of a bugger at pulling apart. Once it's sewn, the edges are sewn, it's not so bad. Okay, and do a couple of little crosses here too. I'll just do 2 on this side. Really just adds a little bit of something. Looks rather cute. Actually, you may not even see it, but because the yo-yo may go over the top of it, but oh well. Let's see how we go. Make it a little wider, so maybe you might be able to see it. Okay. Okay, down and then up. And go down through this way. Okay. Finish that off. Rather cute. Okay. Okay. Now, and what we've got is this. You will still see it, where I've just got the thread and I'm just going to pause it again. I'm just going to, I'll show you what I do for the first couple and then I'll pause it. And while I'm paused too, I might do the French knot for the eye. So where are we? Let's start about, we'll have it there. Okay. Now all we do here is like a really small slip stitch. So you go underneath and you pick it up like that, go underneath, and it's just holding it down. So coming back through there, you just grab a pinch of it. So this will hold it down as well as the button. Okay, I'll be back again. While I was there, I used this thread to sew the button on because I want to go through this and do a bow, so at least I know if it's being sewed on, it's going to be nice and secure. So we're just going to go through there, holding one of those and then coming back up like that. Do a knot. Okay. Now I'm just going to do like a little bow, which is a little bit fiddly, but looks rather cute. And in order for it not to unknot, I'm going to double it up, which is a bit fiddly, but at least it's not going to go anywhere, we hope. I might do that off. Yep. Okay. Sorry guys. We're going to push that through and grab that bit. There we go. Now, that will hold it. I don't know how long I want the scraggly bit. Make it so it's the same length on either side. Yep. Quite like that. It's cute. Now, so that part of the stitching is done. How cute does that look? I love it. Now, what we need to do is get your I might zoom back out. Ooh, no. Okay. So get your doily part, whichever one you want to use. I'm going to use that one, and I'm going to just even put it down a little lower. So just a fraction lower, not much. Now I'm going to pin that on. Is that the right way? No, it's not the right way. It's really hard to tell with this broderie and glaze stuff. Okay. So just a fraction lower because I've got to stitch that in with it. Having it so that this part is in the middle, that's going to be all sewn down. Okay. So what I will do, and I can do that off camera, is I'm going to get white, put that over there, or maybe in some coloured thread. Oh, where are we? Now remember, this button is going to go in there, and then this one is going to go on top of that. So I am going to get some thread, and I might even use this pinky red and stitch it down. So along here I'm probably just going to do white, like a running stitch. Where are we? Grab some white. And then in these pieces, I mean every piece is different. Like if I had that one, which is that way, you just got to stitch it down somehow. So here are the bits, okay, starting from here, and just do a very quick running stitch, because it's just going to be holding it together at this point. That's going to be sewn. To make my life a little easier, I could probably go and do this, because it shows me exactly. Always these little pieces are really good to add to some slow stitching, make nice wings actually. So now I know exactly where I'm going. I think I won't see that running stitch along there, but here I will. So I might take my time and do maybe smaller ones. So I'm going to do white all the way to hold it together, and then come back. Oop, you've got to be careful with running. And then come back and in this with this thread. I'll show you on this side. Probably need a little more, but and then the next one I will show you. So I'm just going to do a very small little running stitch in there, which holds it together but then adds a little bit of colour. And there are holes in there, so you've got a bit of an idea. How cute is that? So the white will hold it together, but also this as well. Go down there, and then I'll come back up here. Now each piece is different. They're all vintage doilies. The red on the white just looks beautiful. Yep. And then I come up here. You got the idea. And then we put, that's going to go all the way around. You'll see it in the next thumbnail. Well, you see it in the finished piece in the thumbnail. Then we are going to be stitching it all together, and I will show you how I put it together. There we go. You can see this little guy here as well. I've made a little one just to show you how I'm going to make a little one, how the pieces go together, because it's so big, and it will be easier to show you how to put it together on this bit. Yeah, so I'm really happy with how it looks so far. Now I've only putting this on the one. If you want, you can on the other piece, the back side of it, I might just leave it plain, because you don't really see it. It's going to be on the other side, and then all the work is on this side, and that other piece is the lining. So okay guys, well thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video where we put the actual thing together, and then I've got to do a French knot and all that kind of stuff. I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Long video this one. Bye.